Welcome to Moms in the Wild with Kate
and Kara,
where we laugh at our wild moments to make you feel better about yours. Welcome back to the pod. We are excited to be here today with another guest episode.
Yay!
Today we have the wonderful Jackie.
Whoop, whoop.
Hey guys.
Yay! So Jackie is an LMHC who specializes in eating disorders and body image work. Brilliant mom, snazzy dresser, overall just a fucking badass. So we're so happy to have Jackie here.
Yes. So excited to be here.
Yay.
Very fun.
Oh, thanks, Jackie.
And fun times. Jackie is going to join us on our Wild Mom Moments.
Wild mom moment, decided to walk down. There's a bar down the street from my house. I can walk.
That
it's
is
nice.
dangerous.
It's not safe. It's not
There's
safe.
a bar down the street from your house.
Yeah.
I would not be able to live or function.
No, just bring the baby monitor.
Yeah. I was going to say I 100% would do that.
I have thought about it. I haven't done it. Have not done it. I've thought about it.
Yeah.
I feel like,
CPS, she hasn't done it.
let's be clear. Let's be clear. Okay, so went to the bar, just gonna have like a casual 2 beers, no big deal. But I feel like when you're a parent, mom or dad, but parent, you get to a situation where there is fun.
Yep.
And you're like, let's go.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
you're like, I have one shot. This is it. Gotta black out. It's not even like a conscious thing. So I did do that.
You have to have the most fun.
It's
not like you're like, I can do this next weekend, I can chill, or I'm going to do this tomorrow. You have no idea when you'll be at that bar again.
Could be never.
Free. It could be never.
It
So
could
you're
be
like,
next Friday.
I have to go hard.
So I did, and it could be next Friday. And as these things happen, as you know, 6:30 a.m. rolls around, and I hear, Mommy, 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 Mama. And here we are.
You made it, though.
I'm here.
You
He's
did
like,
it.
get up, bitch.
Yes, it's time.
He was like, did you have fun last night? Welcome to the morning.
It's over.
Your fun is over.
Welcome to hell.
Oh my gosh. But then it's not even like it's an alarm or anything. You can't be like, snooze. You're like, no, I have to get up and tend to whatever you're about to ask me.
Jackie, you're a mom. Tell us
Hey.
about that. How, why? Who are you a mom to?
Oh, okay. So
How, why, who, what, when?
those are all very good questions. I'm a mom to my son, Elle, and he's 2.5. Just one, and that's our journey so far.
Yay.
And he has amazing hair.
That hair. It is. Don't
Are
ask my
you
mom, though.
never going to cut it? Because I would never cut it.
Well, if you ask my mother,
Then it needs to be cut immediately.
I'm not cutting it. It's too long. I don't cut the hair, Jackie. Why? Every time, so we're not cutting it. That's the long and the short.
And you know what? It's beautiful. It is so beautiful.
Thank you.
Didn't you say you had a lot of regret? You cut Bubba's hair and then you had like a lot of regrets.
This is
I'm
such-
really trying to talk out. I'm like, don't cut Elle's hair.
How long was it?
It wasn't even that it was long, Jackie.
It was,
And everyone who has told me this is listening right now. And I just want to say right now to everyone who has told me, you all betrayed me. My son has platinum blonde hair. He was born that way. Okay. When he was about 1 year old, 1.5, it started growing into these gorgeous curls. Gorgeous, beautiful curls. So the front started to get a little long because that wasn't as curly. The back, though, was just like, oh.
The mullet.
I would
It's
look
a
at it
baby
and
mullet.
cry. It was the best. So everyone in my life, they know who they are.
you know, who
Said
you are.
if you cut his hair, it will come back curly.
No, it won't.
It didn't.
I could have told you that.
Jackie, I wish I would have known you that because guess what? The kid's hair is stick straight now.
Seriously.
And they were ringlets. I had
They-
the honor
oh.
of meeting Bubba when he was a little
Oh.
tiny thing, and they were beautiful, cute ringlets. Did you keep one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not enough, guys.
I know.
Not fucking
Just
enough.
tape
Did you keep it all?
I put it on a baby doll. Fucking, that's weird.
But someone listening has done that. So, like,
Good call.
we don't
that's
want to
it.
yuck your yum. Just keep gluing your kid's hair on someone else's head. Completely
Yeah,
fine.
so if you love it, don't cut it. That's my fucking...
This is off topic and you can't edit it out, but this is a genuine question. Oh no, your baby's not old enough to lose teeth yet, right?
No.
When
Are you
does
going to
that
keep your
start?
kids' teeth?
Yeah. My mom has all my teeth.
Do you like that?
She gave them to me. She's like, anyway, here. I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't want this. Why
Yeah.
would I fucking want
That's
this?
the thing, is the bestowing of the teeth to the person who lost them.
Here you go.
That's a weird thing. What are you going to fucking do with those teeth, man?
Thanks, Mom.
Here's my teeth. Here's a bag of teeth.
I don't think I'm going to be a teeth keeper.
I don't think I'm going to be a teeth keeper. Because I'm not sure what I would do with them. Meaning they'll get lost in my house and I'm going to find a fucking bag of teeth one day. And that's so
Here's the
disturbing.
question. Here's the question we ask ourselves about
So
topics
disturbing.
like this all the time that begs to be answered. Why?
Yeah,
What
why?
is
What is
Why
the
keep
why?
teeth?
Like,
Hair, I understand. Hair, I
I
guess.
do
Yeah.
the ringlets and the texture
yeah,
of it, the
their
baby
hair color
hair.
changes.
Yeah. The only thing she has done with those teeth so far is bite me. So I don't love that.
If
I
you
wonder if
kept
it's
your kids'
just
teeth, though, like we said, we don't want to yuck your yum.
Not,
Yeah.
no, absolutely not.
No,
You know
keep those
what?
teeth, whatever.
You know what? Email us at connect@momsinthewild.com and let us know what the fuck you do with your kids'
Yeah.
teeth. We'd love to know.
A diorama.
I'd love to see some crafts.
Yes.
Now, here's the thing. If there's a good craft I can make with baby teeth, I'm in.
You're doing it.
Earrings?
Oh.
That's like metal. That's fucking metal. Although.
Yeah.
I mean,
Can you
Okay.
imagine that? You have a tiny baby tooth. Oh,
Dude.
I'm
All right,
doing
so
that.
you know
I
what?
might
All
do
right,
it.
we all are.
Shit, all
We're
right.
all
Here we are.
Keep
Here we
the
are.
fucking baby teeth.
It's like our friendship bracelets. It's just
What
our
if you?
kids' teeth.
Okay, but what if you made something for the kid and that's how you give it to them? But you make it real simple. Like they graduate from high school and you're like, here's a fun necklace of your teeth.
I think then they would like have you committed and like never talk to you ever again. I think it has to be younger.
If you want to spoil a relationship, do that.
I think if you never want to talk to your child again, do that.
100%.
I think if
You glue them onto the graduation cap when the child's asleep and you're like, it's your teeth, all right? This is where we started, was with these teeth, man.
no, here's the move. Hire a tooth fairy. Okay?
Oh,
Stay with
got
me.
it. Okay.
When, on their 18th birthday, sneak in, put all the old teeth under the pillow.
You are a reverse tooth fairy.
And then we have the tooth fairy and just turn on all the lights and just see what fucking happens.
Yeah. I would actually...
I love this.
Yeah.
I love this. I do love this.
And I would ask for the money back that I gave them. I would
Where
say
is
that
it?
was a loan. Here are the teeth back.
And
I need the
tooth fairies
cash.
come on hard times.
I need the cash.
It's
Yeah.
a shakedown.
Yeah,
It's a shakedown. It's a shakedown. It has to be done. They gotta learn.
They
it's
have
the
to
real
learn.
world.
Yeah.
It's the
You're
real
old
world.
enough now.
You
got the
gotta wait
teeth back,
till-
you give
yeah.
me the money.
You gotta wait till they do something really fucked up to you and then just pull out the reverse tooth fairy.
Oh, did you find teeth under your bed? They're your own. Jesus Christ,
Where's
Mom.
my money? Where is it? I'm gonna do this. Honestly, this is a great idea.
I
I'm gonna do
know.
it.
We now have figured out why people keep teeth. So. And
Also,
they
like,
may not do this.
Trademark. Nobody's
Yeah. TM. We're starting this.
Amazing. Okay, what was your wild mom moment,
My
Kara?
wild mom moment is definitely not as fun. It's me being a huge idiot, which is, I guess, fun for
That's
some. So Birdie, we delayed her vaccination, so she just started vaccines when she was 12 months old.
Right.
Got her second vaccine, she's 12 months old. And she doesn't like it. Oddly
Shocking.
enough.
No.
Doesn't like being pricked right in the leg with something. So she doesn't like the doctors in general either. So we're like, we're going to like warm her up to this. We'll buy one of those little like doctor kits and they're toys and it's so much fun. And so Chris was there as we received this toy kit and I was trying to be funny. And so I took the fake shot and stuck it in my own leg and went, ah! And just screamed very loudly. And it wasn't funny for anyone but myself. Because apparently the 12-month-old doesn't love to see that.
She's like,
Which is
why?
shocking. Yeah.
Why are you doing this?
She was
Why
like,
are you
is
doing
this
to me?
supposed to help me? Or is this supposed to traumatize me for the rest of my life? You know, sometimes you try to help and you miss the mark a little bit with it.
Right, I'm wondering your frame of mind because like the goal was to make her not afraid of the vaccine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what she'll love? Some slapstick humor.
Yeah.
Kids
At
love
12
that.
months old.
They do.
Kids love a little
No,
slapstick
she's totally
comedy.
gonna understand like when
She's
she
gonna get
stabs herself, it's funny, but when I get
But when I
stabbed,
do
it's
it,
perfectly fine.
It's perfectly fine.
Fine.
Yeah. And she got, you know what? Overall, she got it.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
She's
got the
very
seriousness of
intelligent
it. She's
for her
so
age.
smart.
So smart. So smart.
What is your wild moment, Kate?
Mine is like very short and sweet. My favorite thing that Bubba's doing right now is, and he's getting it from me. The thing that we're in the stage of life is that when he talks, I am hearing myself talk, but in a toddler. And
Not
so,
ready.
yeah,
Oof.
it's a lot of like my own phrases. And, you know, one of the things is like, one of my favorite things is not part of the story, but I guess whenever like we're watching TV and he wants to change the show, I will say this specific phrase because now he'll be like, Mama, no, Blippy, Bubba wiggles. And then before I grab the remote to change it, he'll look at me and go, ay, ay, ay.
Oh, I love that.
And I'm like, oh shit. I must like every time be like,
Go,
ay, ay, ay.
Ay.
Because like to be honest, like it is ay, ay, ay. We change the channel every 5 fucking minutes. Like
Yeah.
it's not like he just sits and watches. So that's one. This is a cute one though. So we're at the park. It's fine. It's like cold here for like 2 days. So I had him in like long pants, long shirt, which means brine sliding time, right? So I forgot
Whole body
that
slide.
like full clothes means you can slide faster. Okay,
Yeah.
so I forgot that. There's a huge slide, inclined, huge. It's like should not be at our park.
Does he realize this? Does he know full clothes mean I just...
No.
Well, he does now, I'm guessing. He might know that now.
Sorry if I ruined that punchline, but woof.
So
Bob was about to find out some life shit.
yeah. So he's up at the top of this like crazy slide, and I'm like, "Ooh, I'll video this because it's such a tall slide."
Oh,
that
we
I
always
will
video our worst fucking
take
moments.
my phone out and video. So I'm sitting far away because you have to see the top of the slide to get the whole good video,
Sure.
right? So he's sliding, and as he's sliding down, the terror in his face starts to show because he's going so fast. He's rip roaring down this slide, okay? Because he's, like I said, full clothes, cold slide, like down, way down. So he falls. Well, no, okay. He's at the bottom of the slide, does a full 360. So he was on his back. Now he is on his stomach, face down in the slide, and just launches. And then, like 10 feet from where he came off the slide, bam, lands on his stomach.
No. Oh, no,
So the video-
Not the tummy, not the tummy.
Yeah.
So the video is me going like, "Yay! Oh no!" It's like 3 minutes, okay, or 3 seconds. The video's like 3 seconds long. So
I was going to say 3 minutes. He wasn't going fast
No.
at all.
So I say, "Oh no," and cut the video because I think like a piece of mulch is gonna be sticking out of his eye, right?
Oh.
That's like worst case scenario. He's fine, but the best part is like he does another one of my phrases. So I don't have a crier, like you know this. He's just
Dust himself
he
off.
gets hurt, he dusts himself off, he's fine. So he jumps up, he like looks at me, he does this great thing that he like does his arms like a cool guy, and he goes, "Mom, cool, huh?"
No.
I'm gonna start doing that.
It was
love
the
that.
craziest thing.
I love that.
It's so cute.
That's so adorable.
Oh my god, it made me just want to like. I
He
wanted
was
to cry
like,
because I was
"Cool, huh?"
like traumatized, but also I was like, "Oh my god!" But he was
This
like,
is
"Mom,
so cute.
cool, huh?" Like he
Oh,
just
that's
thought he
so
was the
adorable.
And you're
best.
like, God damn it, do it again. So I just
Yeah.
turn the camera back on.
I know.
Wait, is this something you do to him?
I guess when I see something, I go, "Hey, cool, huh?"
Oh,
And so now
cool.
he's like, but he added the hand
That
movement.
is a
hand
that
movement.
makes it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
He
He's
was
so
like,
proud of himself.
I can one up you.
Oh god, it's so cute.
I can one up you, Mom.
I love it. It's a little tiny voice. Cool, huh? Yeah,
Oh,
it's best.
that's so cute.
And it is cool. In fact, it is.
It was really cool.
Huh?
That is terrifying, but so sweet at the
I
same
know.
time.
I gotta love him.
Yeah. What else do you do with him?
You got to.
All
You do got
You
to.
literally have to love them.
right, so let's get into it.
I'm super excited for today.
I am too. This is a very relevant episode in my
Oh my
life
goodness.
right now.
Yes.
So we are talking about body image.
Yeah.
Woof. We're talking pre-baby bods, post-baby bods, current bods. You know what I feel like before we get into it? It's
Yeah.
like a real disservice. It's like
Absolutely.
dad bods
Oof.
were made cool, right? Like 2 years ago, the dad bods were thriving. Like everyone's like a dad bod is so hot. When is the mom bods movement happening?
Yeah.
When
I'm
is like
waiting-
a C-section shelf just like hot as fuck?
Yeah.
Like, I want a guy to be like, baby, show me your C-section scar.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
That is
I'm
for
married,
me.
but like, I want. How about this? I want my husband. Let me rephrase here to be like, babe, show me that scar.
Let me see that scar.
Yeah.
So hot.
Yeah.
Your nipples touch your belly button.
That's
Love that.
super, super cute.
You know?
Yeah.
I wish.
It's just another crime against moms. That's all I have to say. Anyways.
Well, I agree with this.
Me too. I'm waiting for my C-section scar to have its moment.
To have its sexy, shining moment.
But I will say, even when, and this is my own journey, I look at my scar and I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
That's a no. I went to like a PT after I had a really bad birth experience. So I went to like a PT after, like, do the whole thing. She's like, I just want you to touch your scar. And I was
Ugh.
like, ma'am, I'm leaving. This is harassment. I don't want to do this. She's like, you need to get comfortable. I was like, I am uncomfortable. I do not want to do this. I never went back.
Yeah, I would not have gone back either.
Correct.
Like, this is for me to decide. You stranger. What do you mean you need to touch my scar?
Not touching it.
Oh my gosh, no thank you.
Nope.
Yeah.
Weird.
Right?
Weird.
Ugh.
It makes
I'd have
me
been
feel
like,
better. I can't even see my scar from my C-section shelf that I have so lovingly. I have to like pull up my cut through muscles that never fucking banded back together.
Where's
and
that
be like,
guy?
where is that scar?
It's for the best. You know what? I think that's good. I think it's actually better.
ignorance is bliss.
Stretch mark
Truly
scar.
is.
Who knows? What is it? Is it the stretch mark? Is it the scar? I don't fucking
Just
know.
a
Who cares?
roadmap of my life on my belly.
I love
These
that.
things have
That's a
happened.
good reframe. Actually, that is a good reframe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
I like it.
I like it.
It's beautiful.
So let's get into. We got a little ahead of it. We jumped the gun.
Okay.
A little bit.
My bad.
Let's go back. My bad. Jack, get out. You were
Sorry.
gonna No, so first we're going to talk about pre-baby bods.
Okay. My pre-baby, I was hot shit. I'm just kidding. I had gone on this pretty long journey before I had a child to reclaim is not the right word, but the only one I can think of right now, to just even have a neutral feeling, I guess, toward my body.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of eating distortions, and I grew up and I was a dancer. And so it was very normalized, again, to try to be on the thinner side. And I remember when I was in high school, this was before all those like fun apps that calculated your calories for you. And I would do it on a calculator. I would just calculate the calories I ate during the day on a calculator.
Wow.
And everyone was like, seems right. Seems like a cool, normal thing that you're doing there. And it wasn't cool or normal, or it was weird. It was a weird thing to be doing and I also would be like, I'm going to go on like a healthy detox diet, which actually just meant I was eating fruit and some vegetables. And that was it, which for some people that's fine. But for my body, that's not fine.
Right.
It just means I would drop a ton of weight. Anytime that I've ever, and I know I've said this before, so it's definitely repetitive. Anytime that I've lost a significant amount of weight, it's never been for like a healthy, good reason. It's either something really shitty or fucked up is happening in my life, or I'm doing it in a way that's like not the best. So I'd worked kind of to be like, I feel comfortable in my skin and I'm just going to look at my body as a neutral thing prior to having a child. That's where I was at prior to getting pregnant. It was kind of body neutrality. I'm feeling like okay and comfortable in what I'm in. Before, I just had definitely only seen myself as fat, no matter what my weight was. It didn't matter if I was, what the numbers on the scale were. Mm-hmm. I always felt fat from a very young age until mid-20s when I finally was like, I need to not probably only just be like, you're a fat person to myself in a mean way. If I'm going to say you're fat, I should do it lovingly. Be like, you're thicker than a Snicker and you deserve the world, you bad bitch. Instead of being like, I'm fat, which is what I was, which is really what I was doing.
It's so interesting to me because I always looked at you as my skinny friend.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
So that like, every time I looked at myself, I would be like, you're just fat.
Yeah.
And it was in my peer group when I was young, in my family group, anything. It was so normal to do that, to say like, I'm fat. I heard people saying it all the time about themselves, people that I didn't view as fat or overweight or as anything other than just like the beautiful being that they were. And that was the other thing that I never clocked. Whenever I looked at people, I wasn't like fatty. No. Do you know what I mean? No, I never had those feelings. I just kind of saw people as people. So it was weird that though to myself, I would just be like, you're a fat piece of shit. Yeah. And also that weight equated to any amount of humanhood or anything value really, instead of just being like, no, I just weigh this much and great. That's what my body looks like.
Yeah.
So at that point where I got pregnant, I was like in a field of body. I had reached a level of body neutrality. Had kind of not really been into the distorted eating stuff for a bit, just really was focusing on what do I want? The idea of intuitive eating I had discovered. That was a fun discovery for me. I didn't know that was a thing.
What
is
it?
What intuitive eating is? Yeah. So intuitive eating, I feel like Jackie could probably explain this better.
Go.
So you can correct me
Sure.
along the way. Thank you.
Sure.
It's the idea of eating what you want in the moment that you want it, instead of really not like, for me, what I would do is I would super restrain my eating and then I would binge. Okay. And that was the fluctuation that I had.
Got it.
Super, super restrained, then I would binge. Super, super restrained, then I would binge. Instead, with intuitive eating, it's like, what do I want right now? Like I'm walking through the grocery store, let's say. What are the colors and the smells and what are the things that my body is saying? Like, I want this. Okay. And then I eat that thing. So then instead of eating like an entire bag of chocolate, I would be like, no, I want a chocolate. I'm going to eat a chocolate. I'm not going to feel anything about it other than I want this piece of chocolate. Okay. Same thing with fruit and meat and everything. Yeah. Is that that's like a general idea of it.
Because otherwise, if you get on and you explain this well, the binge restrict cycle, which is literally, if we look at it, it is a cycle. I binge and then I restrict, and I ultimately binge again because I'm in this state of deprivation. So the goal with intuitive eating is to listen to your body. And like you said, if I want one chocolate, I'm going to have that. And you know what? Guess what? If I want another one,
exactly,
I'm going to have it too. And that helps us because we're not constantly in this mindset of scarcity.
Yeah.
And because scarcity, we can apply that to food, we can apply that to money, we can apply that to a lot of different things. It impacts our behavior in such a way that you ultimately go the opposite. And you have a binge, whether that's, like I said, food or money or, relationship stuff. It doesn't matter. It's the same principle.
Yeah. Once I got into it, it was very freeing. Like I remember going to Starbucks and not, because most restaurants have like the calories and stuff, and literally ignore it. All I saw were the food items. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
in the drink items, I stopped looking and I literally would ask myself, what do I want? Not paying attention to the calories that were in it or what I'd already eaten that day. It would genuinely was like, right now I'm standing at Starbucks. I brought myself here to get something and what do I want? And be like, oh my God, what the fuck was I doing? How was I living my life before paying attention to, and not, I don't necessarily think, I don't want to like demonize all of, you know, counting calories or whatever you do. But
Right.
for me, it definitely was not a healthy mechanism in my life. So it was very freeing to be like, oh no, I'm just going to get whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
And not feel anything about it aside from like, I want a macchiato with extra caramel syrup. And I'm going to drink that shit down.
So
Yeah.
good.
And I'm not going to feel bad. Fuck you.
And you shouldn't, because that is delicious.
It's some delicious shit. What about, who wants to start?
Do you want to go?
Sure. Okay, so pre-baby body. So yikes. I am.
Damn.
Yikes is it. So I really didn't get into working out until right after I graduated college. So got really into fitness. Ended up doing a bodybuilding, like a bikini competition.
Wow.
Wow is right. And
Bodybuilding's like dedication too.
it is. And again, like not yucking anybody's yum.
Yeah.
Some people thrive at that. I did not.
Mm.
I definitely developed a bit of, I would say definitely some disordered eating.
Mhm.
Probably an eating disorder, if we're being honest. And it was hard to get out of that mindset. But eventually I did. And I did come to a place where like, again, like you, right before I got pregnant, I was like, this is my body.
Yeah.
This is what the world is getting.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like it, don't look at it.
And fuck you.
And that's
You know
on
what?
you, babe.
Yeah.
That's on you.
If you're not enjoying it, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
It's done.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of my journey. You know, as a kid, I was kind of in a larger body. I'm very short, and so, you know, it just is what it is. And I think that kind of set me up for this place of, oh, I found exercise. Oh, what's a diet? Oh, a macro?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, let's count them. And then it was like all bets are off. But like I said, but right before I got pregnant, things had pretty much normalized. So I was in a positive place before I had my son. Very positive, but it took some work.
Yeah, I find that interesting. And I don't want to cut you off because
okay.
I want to hear yours, but I do find that interesting. And I don't know, for me, those two things kind of were married in my head, where I like started to see my body as like a body and then be like, and this body can carry a baby.
Yes.
You know, like where I was just like, instead of just being like, ugh, fat body or big body, really just being like, I have a body and the body can do this thing and I want this thing. And those two things were like a little bit joint. So it's interesting too that you're like, hey, I was at this point of feeling a little bit neutral or a little bit accepting and be like, now I'm ready.
Well, and
Yeah.
what was funny was, to be honest with you, like we had talked about having a child, and then it just like, oh wow, okay, oh, we're having a child.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess it was kind of serendipitous that it ended up how I was feeling,
So cool.
because my feelings were not intentionally correlated with that.
Yeah.
So, but it ended up being a positive.
That was
That's
something
so
I was going to
cool.
ask. That was my question. Was going to be it was going to be way too personal. So like that's
Oh my
just me.
gosh,
Everyone
no,
get
no,
used
no,
to
no,
it.
We're here.
If you were knowingly trying to have a child, because I wondered if those two things were linked for you. Like, but you just said it was kind of like just serendipitous. Like it kind of just happened that way, which is cool.
Yes, it did. We went to we hiked Zion National Park, and like the past month we were like, yeah, like maybe, I don't know, let's have a baby, I don't know. And I remember climbing Angel's Landing specifically, which is it's a tough hike, but
Yeah.
like I hiked hard, much more difficult. And I was there and I was like, Dad, I'm not doing good. I don't know what's happening with me. Like I am out of breath. He's
I
like,
am unwell.
I'm unwell. I'm probably pregnant, but I, was like, no, that's not it. And he's like, you're fine, just keep going. And then I got home and I was like, no, bitch, you were with child. And so that's what that was.
I was a little bit tired because I was just harboring another life.
Breathing for two, I suppose. So, yep, that was that.
Oh, what a fun way
Yeah.
to find out.
That is
Because
fun.
I also didn't realize I was pregnant until I was 8 weeks. Yeah, I would not have been able to do a hike up to Zion's fucking anything.
I just really can't breathe. What's happening
You're
here?
like, oh, I don't feel 100%. I like how Dan's like, let's go.
Go, bitch, go! Like, I'm really trying here, Dan. Okay, I'm really trying.
We've done it before. Come on.
Bless.
You know, she needs a little motivation.
Yeah,
I
that's
need
what he was thinking.
This sack inside of me to stop pushing in my lungs.
He was probably in his head like, I'm being really helpful and
Yeah.
supportive.
I am being a good husband. I am a great husband right now, 100%.
You're like, I might die, so I just want you to know that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, Kate, tell us about
Yeah.
what
So
is your body stuff?
I was very lucky, hearing your stories that I didn't realize that I really didn't think a lot about my body growing up. I was also always very thin. I can remember the first time I ever started thinking about my body in a different way. And I cannot believe I'm saying this out loud.
Is the first time you've been?
No.
This is a safe space.
Yeah.
This is a safe space.
I just can't because, God forbid he listens. But okay. Which he doesn't. But okay. My high school boyfriend at the time, I remember we were laying on the couch watching a movie and I had shorts on. And he was we were getting a little touchy-feely as you do. And he was rubbing my leg and he was on my thigh and he was like, oh my God, I love how thick your thighs are.
Uh-oh.
And I remember thinking my thighs are thick? It never crossed my mind.
Yeah.
And I played soccer. I was huge into soccer. I played on 3 different teams all through high school. So I had muscular legs.
Absolutely.
But that was the first time that it was wait a second. I never categorized my thighs as thick. And then it was okay, well, he likes it. So that gave me a little bit of confidence. I was all right, this is something different about me that not a lot of people have maybe. I don't know. Your 16-year-old brain is
100%,
yeah. So that gave me some confidence. So college, same thing. When I graduated college, it's so funny. My body stuff has to do with boys, which I feel is not abnormal for young
I don't
women.
think that's
not
abnormal.
at all.
So when I graduated from college, I didn't realize at the time that is when my thyroid disorder, I believe, started kicking into gear. I didn't know. So my college boyfriend, if you're listening, fuck you.
You suck.
You're the worst. We all hate you. Okay?
We're gonna find you and send you this link so you can listen to this. Fuck you. And high school boyfriend, I was going to find you because you were very complimentary. We like that about you.
We like that you like a
Yeah.
We love that about you.
And he was I'm not going to hold this in. I'm going to tell you. I like it.
But also, don't comment on people's bodies. But we appreciate where you were coming from.
You were 16, but stop.
You were 16.
Now you're older. Don't do that anymore. You meant it as a compliment, but could have gone very sideways very quick.
So my college boyfriend, he just I'm sorry if I'm friends with his aunt on social media, so I really hope she doesn't listen to this, but he was a piece of shit to me, and
I hope she does. Relay this information to him.
Women supporting women.
Yeah.
I came home one day from my first ever real big girl job at work, and he was drunk, passed out on our bathroom floor. We lived together in our apartment, and his phone went off, and I saw text messages from him and his ex-girlfriend, his high school girlfriend, who I guess he had still communicated with, and he was talking about me, and he was saying yeah, we've been together for 2 years, but I don't know, things are starting to change. She's getting fat.
That fucking bitch.
Yeah.
John, if you're listening,
whatever
your fucking name is, you're a piece of shit. And you're the fucking worst.
Absolute piece of shit.
That's it.
And you know what? In that moment, I don't know why, my thought was to screenshot it. I screenshotted it. Okay. I think part of me was I wanted proof that I had
caught him. And also you're oh no, you are a dick. Yeah. Sometimes dicks are gaslighty about being a dick, and I would have wanted to be no, motherfucker. This is clear proof you are an asshole. Yeah. Very clear proof.
So I ended up leaving, and I actually never spoke to him again.
Wow.
Yeah.
On you.
He moved out.
I moved out. Right?
Yeah.
That's queen shit right there.
Yeah.
Let's get a cheers for that. Wow.
Yeah. I actually did have to call him once because he had fucked up our carpet, and the people of the apartment was hey, you have to pay for this, and I'm I'm not paying for this shit. So I did. I called him. He refused to answer, so I had to call his dad. He was such a piece of shit.
I would have just sent him the screenshot of the conversation and been you're gonna have to pay for some stuff.
We can all this is on you.
We can all acknowledge you're terrible. So.
He did leave all of his textbooks, all his bike. I sold all that shit. I sold everything. It was great. Yeah. I was in my real
hot girl shit.
Nailing it.
Hot girl shit. I love it.
But that comment really, really fucked with my head. And that is where I entered into, I wasn't ever diagnosed, but I truly think an eating disorder. I was telling my husband this last night because relevant, I'm kind of starting to feel I'm dipping back into bad tendencies now, but I would not eat something unless I went on the treadmill before or after and burned those exact calories. Mm-hmm. So I dropped, I don't know, 40, 50 pounds in 6 months. Wow. It was bad. I was walking on the treadmill or outside 20 miles a day. Yeah. I was only eating like I told you, what I could burn.
What you saw was burned. Yeah.
And I actually met my husband during that time, and he obviously was never oh, you're skinny, you're hot. met him, got like happy. You know, when you first get in a relationship, you're like eating and drinking all the time, and like that kind of, I just like slowly got out of it. And then my thyroid disorder really just took over, and I gained a bunch of weight. So before I got pregnant, I was struggling with my body because I gained all that weight that I lost and then some.
Sure.
And then we wanted to get pregnant more than anything. So I think at that point I just switched into kind of where you guys went, which is like, now my body is a vessel. Like this, I have a purpose. Like
it's a tool. I see it as like a tool now to have this means to, like, I want the baby.
Yeah, and I've said this before, like when I was pregnant, that's the best I've ever felt in my skin. Ever. Like I felt hot.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
It is interesting how that happens because I've never worn like tight shirts because I'm always like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But when I was pregnant, you best believe I was rocking a crop top. I was showing it off. And it sucks because it's like, I wish I could have that mentality all the time.
Absolutely.
But I do feel you. Like when you're pregnant, it's so much easier to be like, well, look at my belly.
Yeah.
Look how useful I am. I'm carrying a life. And
yeah.
It's like, I wish that we could, I'm saying this for myself, I wish I could see my body as useful, baby or not, and not have to always have it be a thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Okay, so let's move on to our postpartum bods and how we felt about them.
So sexy.
Woof. Also a type. I'll start. General woof. I'll start. Oh gosh. I mean, what a time. It was so strange. I had a very, very difficult time. I really, like I said before, a very difficult birth, emergency C-section. So like already your body is like not looking like it used to. And like you're so swollen. I just remember not recognizing myself, like did not feel at home in my body for a long time. And like would just look in the mirror and be like, who are you? What's happening here? And it took a long time. And I remember I told one of my friends, like one of my dear, dear friends, I was like, listen, it's going to be fine because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back on my prep diet, which was like when I was competing. I was like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go back on my prep diet. It's going to be fine.
Right.
And God bless, she has children. And she was like, and she knew me during this time and how like disordered I was. And she was like, I love you. I don't know that that's going to be the best situation. And I was like, it's going to be fine. So we're going to
do it.
And then meanwhile, my kid's sleeping like 2 hours at a time and I'm just shoving whatever food I can into my mouth and like trying to pump and like that. So it was a very difficult time. Probably feel like I came out of that maybe when he was 8 months. It was a long time. It was a while.
God bless your friend too for being like, hey, I do want to point out, maybe no,
don't do
this.
Yeah,
what a sweet kind person to be like,
she's the best.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Let us not journey.
I hear you, Jackie.
Yeah.
And also don't.
And also, I would like to advise you not to do that.
Yes.
So.
And even if I wanted to, I couldn't have because like, right? Like you have a newborn. Like you are literally eating whatever is accessible to you or you're not eating at all.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a nightmare.
And I think that brings up a good point, and a point that I love to hate it, is the idea of like a snapback.
Ugh.
Where people are like, look at how my body snapped right back. And it's like, okay, great if that's your body. That's super excellent for you. I don't think everyone's body, I don't even know what a fucking snapback is.
Yeah.
But I think it sets us up for this idea of failure if we aren't able to meet those markers. Mm-hmm. It's so hard to even be able to eat just like a normal human at all after you have a baby. Never mind to be like, I'm going to return to something I was doing a couple years ago and eat this way.
Yes.
And then you have that feeling of like, oh, fuck, I fucked up. But you didn't. You're just eating to survive now at this
you're
point.
literally just surviving.
Literally.
And I remember my mom was like making all of our meals, which was so sweet of her.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd be like, oh my God, how could I possibly count this? I don't know what you put in this. And Dan's like, we are surviving, babe? Like, what is happening? It was wild. Yeah. And then I was like, that's fine. I'm going to work out. But everything was closed because of COVID.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, that's fine. I'm going to work out in the backyard.
I'm going to do it.
And it got intense. Things were a little wackadoodle for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As it is. Like, I feel like that's just the nature of having that new little kiddo. And you're like trying to hold on to some semblance of who you are as a person.
You're also so weak. Right?
Oh my God.
Especially if you had a complicated birth,
sure.
emergency surgery, like your body, like you said, is not what it was I don't know. And that happens so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Like your not that birth processes are short, but if you think about it, that's like a 2 or 3 maybe day process.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you're out of the hospital and like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What is this body? What is this
Yes.
body that was just carrying something for 10 months and now I'm like, who the fuck is this bitch?
Yeah.
And everything is soft and like which is also an interesting kind of idea of like, I don't know, not to get kind of like woo woo with it, but like how it's so interesting that me would be like, I don't want this softness.
Mm-hmm.
And what does that actually mean here? Like, am I not okay with this like maternal softness too? Like, how can I reconcile this with my old self? Which is, I don't know, an interesting concept.
Snaps. I love that.
Yeah.
I think that's so, because it's like, you're thrust into this personhood that you didn't expect, whatever your mom journey was of wanting to be a mom or having a kid. But yeah, where you're like, I used to see this muscle definition and this like badass bitch or whatever it was. And now you're like, yeah, I'm like soft and fluffy everywhere.
Exactly.
Do I want to be that? Do I want to be soft and fluffy?
Yeah. I think for me, one of the weirdest things was I had a few stretch marks on my stomach when I was pregnant, and like they're genetic and hereditary or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So like you're gonna get them or you're not, like whatever. My family, we have them. So I had a few that I could see, but I guess I couldn't see a lot of like my underbelly. And I remember getting my C-section and the doctors being like, "Oh, your poor stomach," and I was like, "What? Like that's weird." And so I guess they were talking about my stretch marks, because when I remember like the second day home from the hospital, I like finally was taking a shower and I like took my shirt off and I looked at my stomach and it was like, they say tiger stripes, but like a legitimate like tiger had like mauled my stomach to death. Like it was like, I mean, it looks like hundreds, but I'm sure it was like 30 like legit like stretch marks like that looked hurt. They looked like they were hot, you know, like they looked like they were just like, and I was like, whoa. And I remember like my mom was in the room and she was like, "Oh, it's okay, those will turn white." And I'm like, wait, but this is just part of my body now? Like, I'm just going to have this stomach that's like, has these, I mean, my stomach is full of stretch marks. Like, it's so crazy. So that was like weird. I was just so excited to be able to like drink champagne again after I was I didn't really think about what I was eating.
Yeah, you're like, fuck it, hit me up with this.
Give me this fucking sushi and the champagne. Just double fist. Thank you.
My like journey of trying to get back, which I wasn't, because I had lost weight for my first trimester, I've lost 20 pounds. I gained that back, and that was really it during my pregnancy. Yeah. I had like water weight and stuff, but I lost that pretty quick. I really started like getting back into like fitness and stuff when we had our ectopic pregnancy. And that was purely for mental health. Like that was nothing to do with my body feels weird. It was that I actually have a friend who went through an ectopic pregnancy as well. And like one day in like a crisis, I texted her and I was like, "What can I do to feel better? Because I feel horrific." And she was like, "You need to start moving your body." Like, I know it seems counterproductive, but like you have to go do it. And so I started taking Bubba on walks. Like we literally would walk for like 2 hours. Like it was his nap time. So like for one nap a day, when he was like multiple napping a day, I would take him out for like a 2-hour walk and we would just walk. I needed to just like have the quiet and like move my body and like think through and be able to cry and scream and like whatever if I wanted to. So that's kind of when I started getting back into noticing that something was happening in my body that like was different, you know? So like, but that purely, like I said, it wasn't because I didn't love the way my body looked, but I didn't love the way my body looked before I was pregnant. So like, it wasn't really like a huge change for me, but it was that was, oh, now my body is changing because I'm like putting all this effort into like trying to help my mental health. I mean, you slip back though, right? Like at the end of the day, like you're still, we like a couple months later had the miscarriage, and then like I just went into a depression again. So then that looked like binge eating and like binge drinking and, you know, not binge drinking like in the bad way, like CPS.
But like drinking
that, but, like,
more.
you know,
Yeah,
but like,
don't come for me, bitches.
But you know, like then you go back. So it's always been a fluctuation for me in my life. But yeah, that was kind of postpartum, that like the one time where, and it was a couple months, it wasn't that long, but I still noticed that my body was changing. I was like, oh, I really like the way I'm feeling and looking. And then I started to feel like a little like, oh, I'm going back into some of these like bad habits. So then that's kind of when I like stopped and I was like, you know, I'll just do it when I can. And then for me, once I flip into that, like, I'll do it when I can mindset, like I stop.
Yeah.
I'm a really like on or off type of gal. Like I'm doing it or I'm not. And so it's a hard balance. And it was then too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with, or I just identify with so much of that. And too, like with me, I was in such a good place with my body that, and then I also felt very good while I was pregnant and very comfortable in my skin. It hit me really hard that I didn't feel those things postpartum.
Yeah.
And I also was not in the best mental space at all postpartum. I was really struggling with my mental health and like my emotional well-being for a myriad of reasons. But so I lost a ton of weight. I lost so much weight when I first had the baby. And also I was breastfeeding. So that like keeps your weight where it should be. And so I lost like much more than I had gained. And again, people are like very complimentary when that happens. And they're trying to be nice. They're like, you look great post baby, you look awesome. And then once that weight started to come back, because I was feeling good again, I really slipped back into those ways of like, oh, but how do I stay skinny? And I will never forget, I went to a wedding shower for one of my very, very good friends. And there were 3 moms there that had had babies around the same time that I did. And they were tiny, like very tiny. Mind you, prior to being pregnant, they were very small human beings.
Right.
Like their bodies were most likely going to look like that after having a baby.
That was like their set point. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So they were like returning kind of again, probably finding their own groove. I have no idea how they felt about their bodies. Didn't think to ask them. But I just remember, I think I might have texted you and been like, I just feel like shit about myself. Like I'm really slipping back to that, comparing myself to other people and other moms and what my body should look like right now. And I've gained all this weight, this weight back, and trying to, again, just try to fit into that body and be like, what do I look like now? How do I feel now? And also not trying to be really harsh on myself for having some of those thoughts of like self-image issues, which was hard, where I was like, I'm past this. I shouldn't be here.
No.
I shouldn't be here anymore.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. We had so much fun talking with Jackie, and we feel like this is such an important topic that we went ahead and made this episode into 2 parts. We hope that you love this one, and you're going to catch us next week for part 2. Thanks. We love you. Stay safe. It's a jungle out there. Bye.